combo.
Want this? Yeah, because I want to make bank, bro. I want to get ass.
Oh, that combo.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? How's the audio sound? Leo Meyer, thanks for the sub. Cody, thanks for the sub. Gil, thanks for the sub. Pimpbot, thanks for the sub. You know, just wanted to what's the game tonight? You might be surprised to hear this game, but we're gonna get our thoughts out there on the recent Guilty Gear beta. So hopefully that's gonna be good for everybody. But feeling optimistic about fighting games for the first time in a while. I still got some reservations, but feeling good about it. So I figured we'd talk about it for a bit. Before we get started, longtime viewers of the stream, you probably haven't seen this one in a while. We're gonna run the intro, and I'm gonna warn you right now. It's kind of loud, so that's the headphone warning. But we're gonna run the intro, so everybody be cool
Oh, that
and
combo.
enjoy. Thanks for the sub, Crockett. You know what? I'll be fucking myself later tonight. Don't worry. JRAM, you're here, dude. Everybody, you're all here. Hopefully this is enjoyable to you guys. But we got to do a couple more things first. Let's turn the camera on. Let's hope the camera works. The camera does not work. Let me try to fix that. Everything I do is enjoyable. I'm glad to hear that. I didn't think there was going to be too much of a market for me to just rant for a while, but people seem to like it, so that's good. Hey, it works. You guys can see me, right? Perfect. Okay, cool. We got a couple more things to plug before we get started. Leo Meyer has sponsored the stream, so thank this guy. He's the one who kind of made it happen. It's also sponsored by the delicious flavor of Mountain Dew Major Melon. He brought a 12 pack of this and said that I owed him a stream. So this is it. Thanks, Leo Meyer. Still really good. I can feel my sperm dying immediately when I drink this, but it's fine because we're not trying to procreate anyways. Anyways, let's get Leo Meyer out of there. Before we start, does anybody want to talk shit about anything else fighting game related, or should I just get into it? We need some music too. Paul, I hope you one and done that guy before you came in here. Yeah, sorry for the ads, but the ads keep this company going, so can't really be too upset about that. Let's play some music from this weird channel that JFlo sent us earlier. How's that sound? And if you have any requests that won't get me DMCA'd, feel free to put them in there because this might take a while.
Oh, that combo.
Thanks for the sub. Apparently, there's a hype train going on. I don't know what that means, but I'm about it. You want and done that guy? Cool. Is this really loud? I can't tell. Hopefully, it's not really loud. Basically, the audio levels on OBS don't mean anything to me because they're inaccurate. It's not loud. Can you at least hear it? I'm assuming that means it's fine. So, let's just...
combo.
Thanks, Anonymous. I hope you enjoy the JMO ass chili sprout. And thanks for coming in here. I'm sorry about Grand Blue, but if Grand Blue had to die so that Guilty Gear Strive could live, maybe it's not such a bad thing. What up, Josh? I enjoyed your stream earlier, dude. You were having a real good time watching those JoJo meme videos, and that was making me have a good time. So thanks for that. The jet tech worked. I didn't even notice he did it, man. It's so effective that I don't even notice it working. Yeah, Grand. Good old Grand Green, dude, for all of you stoners out there. I can't condone the use of drugs, but I will support your use of drugs. So, anyways, the whole point of why I wanted to do this was because Guilty Gear Strive recently had a beta over last week, and I felt pretty good after playing it. The first beta was, I'll be honest with you, it was pretty bad. It was pretty shitty. That was delay-based netcode, and it was basically unplayable. I tried to play Joseph. I tried to play just random people in the even worse lobbies than they were now, and it was basically unplayable. It left me feeling pretty bad. The game as a whole, I just felt really awful about it. That was 9 months ago. Fast forward to now, we got another beta after I received level 2 hype training mode. I don't know what that is, but thanks. Anyways, 9 months fast forward to now, we get another beta. It's the first time that we get to experience the rollback netcode that they've been trying. And most people were pretty down on it. They're like, okay, well, they're not using GGPO, they're not doing this, they're doing some internal shit, and they saw how Street Fighter V went. And people were pretty reserved about it. They're like, it's sure it's going to be rollback, but thanks for the sub, Matt. You're here at a good time. We're just starting to rant. But yeah, rollback is in. Everybody's wondering, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Like, that's the big question. This game has to have playable netcode. Guilty Gear Rev 2 is not playable online. Grand Blue Fantasy, the game that just came out, is not playable online. It's like, what is going to happen to Guilty Gear? Because, as you know, there are no locals. There's no way for us to play this game. We have to play online. So this online has to be really, really good. And the good news is, it's pretty fucking good, man. You hear a lot of people telling you how good the netcode is for this game, and they're all bitches, but you can listen to me at least. The netcode for this game is very, very, very good. I have no reason to believe that it won't launch in the same state. It's gonna be good when it comes out too. Yeah, that's the thing is COVID showed that their netcode was not acceptable. We've been telling them for years, and if you've never played a game that has good netcode, like if you've never played Killer Instinct, if you've never played any of the Code Mystic ports, if you've never played Plus R, and as much as I hate to say it, if you've never played Mortal Kombat 11, you would just never know what good netcode feels like. So thankfully, this game's netcode, it's so far it's holding up pretty well. We have Power Rangers. I have never played that game, but I heard it's very good also. that's a game that I'm maybe someday I'm gonna pick up. But yeah, apparently that game has good netcode. All these games that understand what to do, and JP developers are kind of behind the curve on that. But you know, this game being as good as it is in the netcode department is nothing but good for the scene just in general, because now other companies are going to have to look at the success of this beta and say, we have to do this now too. It's kind of making the level of everybody else rise up. Like, you know, KOF 15 just announced that they have rollback also. So it's going to affect all the games you play in the future. DFO, when that comes out, is going to probably have good netcode. That shitty Project L game is probably going to have good netcode because the Cannon Brothers basically made GGPO and they understand. So better than Fightcade 2. I've only played a little bit of Fightcade, but I'm going to say yes. This is probably the best netcode I've ever played in. Like, no question. Yeah, you know, KOF is a whole nother subject. You know, if I have time at the end and I don't take up too much of your time, I'd like to talk about KOF also. But I kind of want to try to stay on topic with this one. It's probably going to be hard, though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm going to try to stay on topic at least. Yeah, we'll remind me about KOF after this. If not, remind me on Thursday, and I'll talk about KOF then. You know, let's put up another song. If you have any requests, like I said, just let me know. Let's see, which one sounds good? Let's just put the Streets of Rage one on and not think about it. Can you talk about KOF? Yeah, I'll talk about KOF at the end of the stream. Don't let me forget. You know, as good as the netcode is, just keep that in mind that this is absolutely going to launch with delay-based netcode, and they pretty much changed their mind halfway through, and that's why we didn't get the game. It's supposed to come out in October. It's coming out in April now. So just want you guys to keep that in mind. And you know, that's a big positive about the game. And now we got to kind of make a compliment sandwich, I guess. The UI for this game is pretty bad. The first beta, the UI was even worse if you can do it. I don't have a picture of the UI, but you are just gonna have to look for yourself, watch any video. The UI is like really bad. Worst UI in fighting game history. I'm glad that you said that, because I'm fairly confident that Vanilla Marvel 3 was worse, but they're bad for all the wrong reasons. They're much the same in that regard. The very important stuff is obscured by bullshit for no reason. The risk meter, which is probably one of the most important meters in the game, is smaller than any other meter that's on the screen. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. The burst meter, it being a bar that fills up, is good. Because the old one said burst, and it was kind of hard to tell how much you had. The bar makes it really easy to read, but the bar is too small. For as important as it is, the bar needs to be a lot bigger. Both of those do. Risk, you can't like state how important that meter is. Once it fills up, basically everything you get hit by turns into a counter hit. You take extra damage. It's very important to see how much risk you have. And at a first glance, you can't tell. You have no idea. Let me see. Actually, hold on. Let me get myself out of the way. You probably can't see the cursor, but next to Leo Whitefang, you'll see on the left, right next to the timer, that's the risk gauge in this game. It's pretty easy to see. And the burst is the meter on the right. But let me put myself back in there. But the way it is, it's just not readable right now. And if you can believe it, it was even worse in the first beta, because the character portraits and the risk gauge and the burst bar would move with your health bar. And that shit was horrible. Like you couldn't just look at one part of the screen and know at a glance what's going on. It was really bad. So that sucks. And it's better now, but like let's look at Marvel for example. Vanilla Marvel character select. The Marvel 3 UI vanilla was fucking horrible. You couldn't see when you had X Factor. All three bars are taking up the whole screen for some reason. and it's shitty. Like, let's be real, it was terrible. We get UMVC 3. The health bars are condensed. Sure, that's good. X Factor is a big fucking giant flashing red X. I guess that sort of solves the problem. Does that mean it was good? No, but it was better. The same way that the UI in the Strive beta now is better, but it's not what it needs to be. The hearts are stupid. The design is terrible, and that's just the UI. Not even getting into the actual mechanics. Like, let's get into the match now. Once the match starts, it's like, sure, it's fine. Once the combo counter starts going, you don't really notice it during the match. At least I didn't. But for anybody watching, the combo counter is like just way too big. It looks pretty terrible. Like, there's no reason for it to be that big. But I guess it's not that big a deal because it doesn't affect the gameplay. Let me read some of your questions real quick. It was very hard to tell when the burst gauge was full. It was much easier in in Exard because you could see it flashed and it was really bright. You could tell exactly when you had burst. Something like that needs to be more apparent in this one too, I think. But yeah, the hearts for round counter, that shit gotta go, man. That shit's terrible. I 100% agree. It's pretty terrible. Is Footsies any good? If you're talking about the game, it's a pretty funny game. It's worth the few bucks that it costs. It's got good netcode. Not really my thing though. But anyways, we were talking shit about in the match. The combo counter is it's fucking horrible. It needs to change. It needed to change then. It needs to change again now. It sucks. When we're in the gameplay, regular counter hits. I'm talking about jabs, everything else. It says counter. It's pretty big. Not that big a deal. Let's talk about slash counter hits. It slows it down a little bit. It's not really too intrusive to the game. It's still not great, but it doesn't need to be the way it is. And let's talk about big counter hits. Dust, heavy slash, things like that. The game will slow down. It will zoom in, and it's really distracting to the gameplay. Like, it can take you out of it. It's easier to hit confirm. I get why they did it. So you can see the big hit, you can confirm, you can do a combo. No problem. I get it. But the way it is, it's just not. It's not good. It is. I think it's a hindrance to the game. I think it's bad. Character select. We'll get into that. I promise you that. But that counter hit shit, it's got to go, man. It ain't it, man. Let me see. I have a bunch of notes. I'm trying to follow a guideline a little bit, but it's pretty hard. Yeah. Combo counter, gotta change that shit. Counter hit zoom, gotta change that. Show us your face, Dre. Hello. The camera works today. It was kind of hard to get working, but it works. Hey, I have a general guideline. I'm gonna go down on it for several hours, but anyways, let's get back into it. Talked a lot of shit about the UI. Let's talk about some good things. The way the game looks is like it's the best looking fighting game out. We say that every time a new fighting game comes out, but this game is something real special. It looks very good. It looks very good in motion. The character animations look very good. Special moves look good. Everything about it. Visual design. The zoom on supers is very nice. It feels like really cinematic. It doesn't feel too bad. You know, one thing I wanted to bring up about the counter hits and stuff like that is even if they don't change anything else and they just don't zoom it in and do all that, that would be fine. Because a big problem that Cross Tekken had, if anybody played that game, I know you guys don't play fighting games, but let's pretend you played fighting games when Cross Tekken came out. Every time you would throw somebody in that game, the camera would change, like you were getting hit by a command grab, and it would zoom in, and it was really distracting. The change that they made to that, they didn't make the animations faster, they didn't do anything else. They just stopped zooming it in, and it automatically made the pacing feel a lot better. So it doesn't have to be a big change. All you have to do is make it less jarring in the gameplay. Like, you could just do that, and it would be totally fine, I think. Yeah, Exard, I mean, obviously, Strive is like a natural evolution of this game. This game was one of the first ones that took 2.5D and actually made it look like they were sprites. Like, it's... For how the game looks and for how old it is, it still holds up. It still looks really good. Like, you can't say the same thing about like Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, shit like that. Like, when you look at it now, it's like, man, this looks bad. It looked bad then, and it looks bad now. Yeah, it looks more like Sierra Mist. You're right. You know, let's shout out to Mountain Dew, by the way. Thanks for the sponsorship, Leon Meyer. You think the delay after counter hit is more noob friendly than the dash button? That's interesting. I'll take that into consideration when I talk about that later. Interesting opinion. Is the game fun? 100%. As of now, as of beta 2, yes, the game is very fun to play. I'll answer that, and we'll go into more in depth afterwards. We'll talk about it at the end. But let's see. So we talked about how good the game. The game looks fucking great. Let's talk about some. You know, I don't want to do it, but we're gonna talk about the music, man. It's true. That's absolutely correct. That happened. So. Anyways, we're going to talk about Guilty Gear Strive's music. Guilty Gear Strive's music is fucking horrible. All the songs are bad. They're all terrible. I don't know what the design decision was behind these, but they're pretty awful. If you've never played a Guilty Gear game, you might not know about that. You might be like, oh, whatever, they're not that bad, but they're pretty awful. I don't know, and it's not the fact that there are vocals in the songs. Since I know you guys don't play fighting games, you probably didn't play Persona Arena. But all the songs in that game have vocals, and none of them are bad. None of them sound bad in game. You don't get tired of listening to any of them. They all sound great. What makes the songs bad is that they're bad. They are pretty awful. So I'm gonna play you what I think is one of the big offenders in this game, and then I'm gonna play you a song from another ArcSys game, and you can just decide for yourself. All right. I don't really want to pull this song up because I think it's really bad, but I just want to highlight to you what I'm talking about. Because if you didn't play, you probably wouldn't know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna give you an example. Not Enough Birthday Train, and that's the thing too. All the vocal tracks in Exard were not bad. Heavy Day is very good. Six Black Heaven Guns, very good. All those are good. The vocals in this game, these ain't it, man. You might be fooled by the beginning of the song, because it sounds pretty good, but once the vocals start, that shit just goes down the toilet, like 100%. Like, you're with me up until this point, right? Like, this is pretty good. This is not bad. Like, this sounds like a Guilty Gear song. Let's keep going. Can you imagine having to listen to this shit during a long set? I would just not play. This is the first time I've ever wanted to just mute while I'm playing a game. A Guilty Gear game. That is fucking crazy. Whose theme is this? That's another thing I want to talk about. Whose fucking theme is this? All of the other themes in the game, you can kind of tell what character they belong to. You listen to Holy Orders.
Oh, that combo.
Thank you, Joseph. Thanks for the sub. You're here just in time. We're talking shit about the music. Like, when you hear Potemkin's theme in Exard, you can tell it's a Potemkin theme. It's slow. It's like a really plodding song. Like, it fits the character. You hear Holy Orders from Kai. It's like, there's all kinds of crazy shit going on. It makes sense. This, I don't even know whose fucking song this is. This shit is trash. I'm going to play you a song from another ArcSys game. And you can tell me which one you would rather hear during a long set. This isn't even a fucking Guilty Gear song, by the way. The one I'm going to play for you. So... Some of you who have played this game will know what this is, but if you don't, I'll tell you what it is afterwards. Yeah, Joseph's bike stream was really cool. Anyways, shut up. I'll just give you a minute of that one. That's infinitely better than what you listened to before, right? That is not even a Guilty Gear song. That is Jiren's theme from Dragon Ball Fighter Z, a game that doesn't have a metal soundtrack. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's like the music is, if you ask me, it's not okay how bad the music is in this game. I'm thankful that there's a jukebox mode in Guilty Gear Strive, but I shouldn't have to use it. The music should just be acceptable. You've heard the song before, Golan. That's because it's Jiren's theme, and I would much rather have something like this in the game than what we have currently. I think Nagoro Yuki's theme is okay, but being okay, I don't think is acceptable. Yeah, it's the music is like there were some stinkers in other Guilty Gears, but for the most part, the songs are all really good. I do not feel that when I listen to Guilty Gear music. Let's get the Streets of Rage shit back on. Anyways, let's get back into it. We talked a lot of shit about that. Let's talk about another positive. The training mode in Guilty Gear Strive so far is pretty good. It's got all the shit you would want. It's got record. It's got all the shit. Blah blah blah. The thing that's nice is it took something from Grand Blue that I thought was really good. It has on block reversals of everything. You can do anything you want. Any normal attack, any special, any that, any super. It's got that on block. It's got that on wake up. It's got that on recovery. It's got that on like all those things. Those make it really easy to test stuff. So far, the training mode has been pretty good. There's a lot of training modes out there that are really shitty, but this is not one of them. So far, it seems pretty good. I like the training mode in this game. It would be nice if they also had frame data that wasn't just characters turning blue and red and yellow, but I mean, whether or not they're going to do it is a different story. No frame data? Yeah, I know. No frame data, but the tools in the game are they're pretty good, I would say, for a fighting game. So I'm alright with it. Would I like frame data? Yes. Would I like accurate frame data? That's also very, very, very important. But we'll see what happens. Like, if you know other games with training mode frame data, like Injustice, NRS games, like, it's pretty inaccurate. It's pretty bad. So if they're going to put something in, I want it to be accurate and good. If not, I guess we'll rely on the community for it. Again, no problem. Like, it'd be nice if I didn't have to go out of my way to find it, but I'm guessing that I'm going to. Another good thing about it is the main menu is pretty nice. Looks good. There's a big fucking button that just says play, and you can play a game. You can find a game that way. That's pretty nice. Let's talk about the character select screen. It's pretty shitty. Character select screen is pretty bad. It got better since the first version, but it still looks like a mobile game. It still looks pretty bad. I hope that they change that a little bit. I know I've been trying to do a good thing and a bad thing, a good thing and a bad thing, but we gotta do two bad things in a row. Probably, you know, the music fucking sucks, right? But it doesn't really affect the gameplay. Something that does affect the gameplay and the experience is how bad the lobbies are. The lobbies in this game were awful before, and they got a little better now because you can actually find a match and you can actually play somebody, but they are nowhere near what they should be, like, for sure. If you did not play the beta, you probably don't know what I mean, so I'll try to explain it to you. It's a pixel lobby for some reason. You're in these rooms, you can jump up and down floors, which is very unresponsive and horrible. And in order to play a match, instead of like every other game that has ever existed, instead of you sitting down at a cabinet and waiting for somebody to queue up, you stand there and you pull a sword out. And they have to walk up to you and challenge you. It's like, okay, that doesn't sound that bad, right? But when you do that, sometimes you'll go from where you are and you'll teleport all the way across the map for no reason. And it makes it very hard for people to find you. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know why it's so bad, but it is. Another thing that happens is sometimes, because you have to ready up yourself. The other person has to come up to you, they have to inspect you, and they have to say challenge to a match. Sometimes, it doesn't quite do it that fast, and you get stuck in this shit that I like to call R-code hell, where you try to view their profile, and you're stuck there for like a good minute, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to wait for it to expire. It is very, very, very horrible. The way the online lobbies, they were bad. Everybody told them they were bad, and they kept it for whatever reason. Do I think it could be good at some point? Probably, but what was wrong with the way they were before? Player lobbies are max 9 people. I can tell you that the parks, which is supposed to be the casual mode for that game, all the lobbies are 32 people. And they're supposed to be private lobbies that we didn't get to play those in the beta. But private lobbies are supposed to be much better than this, but why can't the regular lobbies just be good too? Yeah, that's the thing about it, and that's why you teleport, is because only certain areas are where you can queue up for matches, so why can't there just be a visual representation of that you can just do? Why do we go through this convoluted system when we can just queue up like we have been for years? That's the thing I don't get. But, hopefully they take this information and they do something about it, but I don't know. Before I would have said, the way we get the game now is how it's going to be when we play it. But since they went back on the rollback thing, since they made a few changes at least, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt at least. And hopefully, when the game comes out, they don't suck as bad as they do now. Because as of now, that's like the big, real horrible thing. For as good as the netcode is, and as good as the online experience is actually playing somebody, queuing up for matches and waiting that's how proportionally shitty it is. There are people... Hold on, let me take a drink first. Yeah, there's those nerds out there who are content creators, and when they're cutting videos of the Strive beta, like 40 to 50% of the footage that they have is them waiting in the lobbies. Can you imagine trying to run a tournament in that shit? It would basically be impossible. It would take so long. It'd be like CBS2 levels of this shit is taking fucking forever. It's terrible. The way it is it cannot launch like that, is the way I'm going to say it. If it doesn't change again, I'm going to be super sad. Sorry, I wrote like a lot of notes. I got to keep going there. Another thing that fucking sucked about the lobbies is there's a big, giant thing covering up half the screen that says news. The fact that that exists is really cool, because it can tell you when tournaments are, it can tell you all this stuff, but the fact that you cannot make it go away is really bad. It makes the already cramped lobbies seem even worse, which is, it's pretty crazy that something can make those lobbies shittier. There's less than 2 months. That's what I thought too in regards to how the game would play, how the game would look, how the game would feel, and a lot of that has changed even since then, so I'm assuming it's not going to be much different, but it might be at least a little better. Arxis of the past, I would say that's the game we're getting. Arxis now, I'm a bit more optimistic. Feeling optimistic. Let's check the notes. Alright, that was a pretty big negative. Let's talk about a little bit more of the system. The RC system is pretty fucking tight, I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of fun just messing with that stuff. There are hits and stuff that you can convert off of by RCing that you could never do in other Guilty Gears. Like just random pokes, RC forward, and it pops them up for a combo. That's pretty nice for a lot of things. That was cool. There's fast RC. I don't know if that shit's intentional or not. That's kind of what the problem is. It's not outlined very well. But you can get a hit RC and immediately do a normal, and it's like an FRC from Accent Core, XX, all those games. That felt very, very good. I don't know the criteria for that. I don't know like how that works, but it enables like really fucked up mix-ups too, because you just flash instantly and then you go high-low off of some things. The RC system was really, really cool. That's one of the big gameplay things that I was surprised about. It's so much nicer than YRC and all that stuff. It's got some of the same elements, the slow down, all that stuff, which is kind of a downer for some people, but just the way it functions, the fact that YRCs don't exist, they don't take 25%, I think that it seems much, much better. And if you don't know, if you dash a direction before you RC, you go in that direction. So that enables combos, like I said, from really far. Like max range pokes, RC forward, and you can pop them up, get a free combo. Things like drifting down during RCs of moves lets you do high lows. Like there's a lot of things that you can do with it that are pretty cool. So that's one of the things that I was kind of most impressed by, and the fact that training mode was in the beta let you mess around with stuff like that. The first beta, I can't like state how bad it was. It was only online play with shitty delay netcode that was basically non-functional. So all in all, this was like a pretty good beta experience for that. Let's talk about another bad thing. I do not know why the Gatlings are so restrictive in this game. If you do not know what a Gatling is, it's chaining one normal to another to another to another. In other games, you can basically go punch, kick, slash, heavy slash, and all of that will chain together. In this game, a lot of that doesn't exist for some reason. It's supposed to be more beginner friendly, but I don't know if it really is, because it makes your combos, I think, a lot harder, because there are so many less ranges where you can convert off of stuff. So, another thing that I think would be cool is if some of those Gatling chains just kind of returned, because as of now, it's like your pressure strings are like really like linear. It's like a lot of the same stuff. It's a lot of strike throw stuff, which I don't have a problem with personally. I think that's okay, but there are so many less block strings you can do because of that it kind of makes it, a lot of the matches kind of feel the same sometimes, which I think is kind of not a good thing. In older Guilty Gears, yes, but most characters had ones. You had character-specific Gatlings, and you also had, like I said, the punch, kick, slash, heavy slash ones that are pretty universal. But you could do really tricky block strings and stuff like that, because you could either Gatling or not, or jump cancel a lot of things. There's not a lot of jump cancelable normals that you can do, so it kind of, like I said, makes your pressure a little bit more linear than more Guilty Gears. I'm not a huge Guilty Gear guy. I'm kind of a scrub. So don't take it for the word of law, but it's a lot more restrictive. It feels like it's one of the few things that does not feel good about the game. So there's that. We talked about that. Another I'm gonna just get it out of the way. Jumping is like really, really, really good in Guilty Gear Strive right now. Like I think it's too good. There's a good reason for that. A lot of the anti-airs are a bit worse. Not just my character specifically, but across the board, they're kind of bad. And there are no air unblockable moves anymore. Before, in previous Guilty Gears, you had moves that were air unblockable. When you can't block them. It's very self-explanatory. You have to have faultless defense in the air to avoid that. In this game, those moves don't exist. So up backing is really, really good. If you're not like point blank and they're not tagging you on the ground with a normal, up backing is like super strong, because I guess the downside of it was if you do block a move in the air, no matter what you got hit by, you're in 19 frames of block stun as soon as you land, no matter what. So I guess that was supposed to be the remedy to up backing being so good, but it's going to take time to see if that's actually good enough, because it didn't really deter a lot of people from jumping. There were people jumping fucking everywhere. So that's kind of another one of the issues, I think. One good thing, though, is that a lot of people were worried about the grabs because they were supposed to be a lot slower. But, you know, they only got slowed down by 1 frame, and air grabs felt fantastic. They were very reliable as anti-air. They did, for most characters, they did a shitload of damage, and they put them right next to you. You get good setups off of them for most characters. So air grabbing felt like very, very good. Air-to-air jump P felt very good, but since there are no chains that you can do, basically you're getting jump P, jump P, jump P, and that's pretty much the extent of your combos, aside from some of the characters who we'll talk about later. I am actually going to get to the wall. I don't know what the fuck the deal is with the wall, but it's like, I just don't know enough about it. It seems very inconsistent. There are some times where you will not wall splat them, and there are some times where they'll drop down. It's like, okay, I expected that. And the next hit you do will stick them to the wall. And then you have to break it. That's the thing that I didn't really understand most of all, is like the wall was like really strange. The times that you would wall splat them, the times that you would not, I didn't really understand. So All in all, though, it seemed a lot better to break the wall. Like, you break the wall, you do a shitload of damage, and when you break it, your meter starts filling up, like, as if you were running forward. That's one of the fastest ways to build meter in the game, is to run forward. It would fill up, like, about that fast just by you doing nothing. It's a 3-hit thing for the wall. You might be surprised, because that shit is not how it worked for me. I know that once you wall stick them, yes, you'll wall hit, wall stick, break. But getting there is the different story. There is sometimes where you would splat them immediately, and there's sometimes where they like would just fall down. I don't get it. 90% sure it's damage based. I have caught people with jump P jumping back after a combo, and the jump P has wall splatted them immediately. So I don't understand how it works. Yeah, there are, like, it's just, I don't quite understand the way it works. I got you. I'm glad you got you. But yeah, that's the thing, that was the most mysterious thing about it. As far as losing Oki and shit like that, the character I played basically would kill you immediately once you got to the wall anyways, so it was not really a factor for me too much. If Nagoriyuki hits you in the corner with a clean hit, basically you're gonna lose like 60-70% and you're just gonna die, and I don't have to worry about it. So my wall experience is probably different than yours, if you did play it. What are the things I think are going to get changed before the game comes out? One thing is I hope that I hope the infinites get removed. You know, that's the big one, right? Like nobody wants to see that shit in the game. I'm pretty confident that that shit is not going to stay. Another thing that should probably not exist is there's a weird dashing faultless defense that you can do where you just basically warp forward, faultless defensing, and you can just grab people from full screen. Like that shit, the weird bugs like that, there's no way that's not gonna go away. Axel, you know, putting you down into the earth and you just fall through, like that's just not gonna stay, right? I just want, I'm expecting a lot of things like that to get changed. Things I hope they change. I hope they make anti-airs a little bit better, or at least a little bit more rewarding. I hope that some of the Gatlings free up. It'd be nice to be able to do real pressure strings on people. Anything that you can do to make jumping worse, I think is okay. I think it's not a crime to have strong jumps, like that's fine. But it is a crime to make anti-airs proportionally that shitty. Like that, is that really what you want? Is a bunch of people jumping around because that's their only option? Like, let's be real. I hope that's one thing I really hope changes. If I can get anything done with that, that's probably what I would do. You know, Cody, I saw that. I wish I would have gotten that bug because it seemed really funny, but I played a lot of matches and I never got it, unfortunately. So, and I didn't play Faust enough to fall through the earth either. I wish I would have done that too, but I didn't get too many funny bugs, but they are really funny. You got it against me? You got the upside down health bar, really? Because I never did. That's pretty cool. I hope you got a screenshot of that. Anyways, that was a lot of rambling, but that's like my basic thoughts, not going into the characters too much. Like, overall impressions, I would say it was night and day difference between the first beta to now. This beta felt very good to play. I had a lot of fun, and I played a lot of matches. I haven't played a fighting game for that long, like in a really long time. I didn't even play this many Grand Blue matches, I think, and I really liked playing that game a lot. As soon as I got home from work, like I ate, made dinner, all that, and I just hopped on the beta. It was a very fun experience, for the most part. Other than the things we talked about that I didn't like, I absolutely had a great time. It was a blast to play this game. I had a lot of fun. MK, I played a lot of MK, but in like this 5-day period, like I did nothing but play this game. I did like nothing. I didn't do any streams. I didn't do like anything. All I did was play Guilty Gear. And let me say this now, dude. I left a lot of words in the past over this past couple of years, and this game made me want to bring them back out, just because of how I felt about the game and how invested I was. So if you have any doubts as to whether or not I liked the game, I absolutely had a good time. There's a lot of negative things that I said about it, but all in all, I had a really, really good time playing it. So try to take that. If you take nothing else away from that, is that I absolutely had a good time, and I think this is a very fun game. Yeah, basically all the stuff that Justin was saying, that's kind of internally. Like, I had the internal monologue. Like I said, I left a lot of those words in the past, but they threatened to come back during this beta. Anyways, that's the general system stuff. Anybody out there have any questions that does not relate to characters? If you do, let me know, and I'll try to hit them before we get to the next part. Well, lobby costume, I used female body type 2, which is the fat one, purple afro, red eyes, hot pants, and purple tank top. Why wouldn't they let you download the beta? After what you did in the anime kitchen, they knew that you had to be stopped. I'm going to have Arxis send you an apology letter. I will get it done. I can tell you that much. The lobby avatars are awful, by the way. Everything about the lobbies was trash. Dash button. Thank you for reminding me. It's a controversial one, you know, but it doesn't really matter. The way that they're marketing this game is to be accessible to people who have never played Guilty Gear before. That's their big thing that they're saying. Whether or not that's actually true or not is kind of up for debate based on the system, but as far as the dash button being in, it's probably going to stay, and it makes the RC dash combos like pretty easy. I think that was the intention, I think, is to make the dash RC combos accessible to everybody. Because I guess some people could find it difficult to dash, press RC, and then press the button. How it actually worked out is that people are just fucking air dashing all over the place. That shit is insane. Like, the amount of mobility and control that it gives people who do not know how to play Guilty Gear or have never been good at air dashing or anything like that, it gives them a level of control that usually takes a long time in practice. Do I think that's a negative thing? I don't really think it's a negative thing. I think it's different, and it's kind of lowering the entry, the barrier to entry a lot, which I'm usually not a fan of, but you know, it is what it is, and I'm pretty confident that it's gonna stay. And if you want to be serious about this game, like, if we magically get another beta before this comes out, you should absolutely use the dash button. Yeah, just opening the game up to more people who probably would not have played anyways. I think that that's a good step in the right direction. The game looking good, the game playing well, like all that stuff they're all really good things for newcomers to the game. There's people who have never been interested, have never given Guilty Gear a fair shot. They all tried it just because of that and had a good time because of these things. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's a really easy thing to make fun of, and I love talking shit, but all in all, I don't think it's a bad thing. You should, Kadar, you should absolutely use the dash button. My character, every time somebody brings up the dash button, I try not to bring this up, but I'm going to say it. My character doesn't have a fucking dash, and I still had the dash button macroed. You should absolutely use it. If the dash button makes it into the game, you should 100% use it. If not for the air dashes, just for the RC combos, because drifting downwards during RC is kind of hard if you're not used to the motion. So hitting down, hitting dash, hitting RC is a million times easier than double tap down, RC, and then go. Like, it's just a lot easier. Very good question. Thank you for reminding me about that. I almost forgot about that. You should use an RC button too, by the way. Anything else before we move on to the characters? Very good question, by the way. I'll give it a few more seconds just in case it's delayed. I gotta scroll down to my notes too. All right, let's get right into the characters. Did you do the survey? I did. I did the survey twice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did it at work, and it got really busy, and I couldn't answer the last question, which is probably the most important one. And I had to go home and do it all over again and write in the survey. So yeah, I did it twice. I'm thinking about doing it again too, and asking for more shit because there are things that I forgot. But I mean, whether or not they even listened to the survey, or if the guy at Arxis is just taking that shit and throwing it in the trash, I don't know. I like to believe that they're listening though, because they went, like I said, the whole big thing for me is they went back on delay base and gave us rollback, and the rollback is very good. So I'm giving them a huge benefit of the doubt, just based on that. So if you make enough noise, maybe they'll change a few things. Anyways, let's get to the characters. Do not take my word as the word of somebody who's good. This is just my experiences with the characters, what my thoughts are. We're gonna go in alphabetical order. Thanks to our sponsor, by the way. He's not in the game, but thanks to our sponsor. First character. I wasn't too high up on this character, but Toki said that he was pretty good. So if Toki said it, he's pretty good. The first character is Axel. I thought he was okay. He seemed like he was just not getting the reward that a lot of characters were getting and all that. But Toki felt otherwise. He said, you know what, dude? Axel's pretty tight, and the conversions off of one vision are pretty good. And I was like, you know what, dude? If he says that shit, it's gotta be true. This guy's been playing Axel forever. Like, he's gotta be alright. So that's cool. The things that I thought that was sick about one vision is like one of the sickest supers that I've seen in like a really, really long time. One vision is like the sickest super that I've seen in Guilty Gear. If you don't know what that does, he activates it. It's an activation super, so he activates it and it's stored up. Basically, anytime he gets a hit or on block or whenever he wants to, he can redo the motion. And he'll do a pose, he'll point at you, and if you're anywhere near the activation of that super, you get frozen. He has a time stop basically, and a lot of people say that story modes in like fighting games like don't matter. But this is a good example of if he didn't have this backstory, if he wasn't a time traveler in the story, he would never have this super. This super would not exist if it wasn't for the story mode of Guilty Gear. So that shit's pretty tight, dude. What's going on here? Cody, we're talking some shit about Guilty Gear. You're here for the characters, so whether or not it's a good part, I don't know. But yeah, we're talking some shit about Guilty Gear. Leo Meyer sponsored the stream, and he gave us Mountain Dew. And he said, I want to stream. And I said, okay, I can do that. I can give you a stream. I'll talk about Guilty Gear. So anyways, we're talking about Axel. And, yeah. He seemed pretty tight, but, we'll get to Leo. Don't worry. We're going alphabetical order. Just, closing thoughts on Axel. I don't know how good he is. He seemed like, a lot harder to use than a lot of characters, but he seems really cool. And, One Vision is, like, the sickest thing about it, for sure. Next up, here's another character that people are not very happy with. We're going to talk about our boy Chip. Chip. During the notes, I was trying to put things that I thought were good about the characters, things that I thought were strengths, and it was very, very hard to come up with strengths for Chip. He seems like they were afraid to make him good, so they just took everything away from him. He doesn't have teleports. The clone move is horrible. You can hit him out of it. It's slow. You can hit him out of the clone move. He takes damage, and if you block it, he's only +1. It's like the design decisions behind this character. Like, I do not understand what they're trying to do. I just don't understand what he's supposed to do. He still has a good run. He still has all the jumps. He's got a super that does a lot of damage, sure, but all of his other tools they're just not there, and I don't know what you're supposed to do with Chip. I don't understand. It's one of those things like, what is his game plan? And usually that means the character is not good. If you can't tell me what this character wants to do, it usually means that nobody knows what they're supposed to do, and you just got to cheese shit out. If that's what you want him to do, then he needs better tools to cheese people out with. But yeah, Chip players are bitches anyways. So let's go to the next character. All right, this is yeah, that's it. And then how does he kill you though? Is the thing. I just don't understand what you're supposed to do with him. Let's talk about. All I want to say is if J-Smack's not playing Chip, something's wrong. And I did not see him pick Chip once. He still have his wall. He has wall cling and he has a wall run. But as a combo tool, I don't understand how you're supposed to use it. I don't get it. I think it's about winning when you play Chip. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I don't understand what you're supposed to do with Chip. Anyways, let's get a little more optimistic. Let's talk about our boy Faust. I played him in the first beta, and I was not very happy with him because it felt like there was nothing I could do. All the Gatlings were gone. I'm a long-time Faust player, from Exard. I haven't been playing that long, but I played Faust for a long time in that. None of his Gatlings were intact. His item throw was way worse. Everything. It was just, I had a miserable time. It was just absolutely a miserable experience. And in this beta, I was like, you know what? Don't be a bitch. Look at this guy like he's a new character. And after I did that, I had a lot more fun. I played a lot of Nagoriyuki, and then I switched to Faust for a little bit. And the things that Faust can do compared to him, those are things that I like. He had pretty good anti-airs. 5k was still very good. Very, very good. His pokes were pretty good still. They're obviously worse. Far Slash doesn't, hit as far. It doesn't randomly anti-air people, things like that. Sure. But as a whole, his normals are still pretty good. 6p goes very far, just like it did before. That felt pretty good. For the most part, controlling him was okay. He was a little slower. Understandable. A lot of his special moves, though, that's kind of where the problems start to come in. Is item throw is it's a lot slower, and it seems like most of the items just don't benefit you. The reason why you would want to throw items in other games is because there are a lot of items that are really good for you. Mini Faust controls a lot of space. You can hit hammer throw with the opponent. Getting the weight was really good. Meteors was very good. A lot of things. In this game, it feels like a lot of the items are detriments to you. A good example is he has a new item throw special where he tosses an item and a horn lands on the ground. And depending on who gets it, a bunch of mini Fausts come from the other side of the screen and they run and they take up the entire bottom of the screen. The problem with that move is you can't hold item throw and hold the items and throw them closer to you. Now it's a set distance and you just throw it. And when you throw that item, you throw it right to the opponent. So if they're looking out for it, they can just run up to mid-screen and just try to get the item from you. And it's really, really bad. Having to block that is it's terrible. You just don't want that. That's an item you do not want to see. You do not want to see Afro come out either. Because if you get hit with the Afro, it makes your hurt box bigger, and you just basically instant overheads get opened up on you, all kinds of stuff. Getting your opponent to grab that item is pretty difficult. Seems like a waste. Banana leaving a peel on the ground and making you slip on it, that's also not good for Faust. All those things, the item throw just felt terrible. And I guess the decision of making it that bad is that you can now throw multiple items. Before, you can only throw one at a time. So if it's stuck on the middle of the screen, you can't throw another one. In this game, you can throw as many as you want. But since the items are worse, it's what's the point? Before, when you threw meteors, they would come down in about 5 seconds. And so you have time to force a scramble and see what they do. Are they going to jump? Can you get an air throw? Are they going to stay in the ground? You get a free mix-up. All those types of things. In this game, as soon as you throw the meteor, in 2 seconds it comes right back down. So that scramble situation that it used to enforce doesn't exist anymore because they basically can just jump an air block and it's no problem because you're not going to get close enough to grab them or do anything else. So all in all, the item throw just felt worse. And that's a pretty big part of the character. So that sucks. The things that were cool about him, like I said, were the anti-airs. Hitting 5k into 6H and watching them bounce and fly up in the middle of the screen, that felt really cool. Because you get crazy combos. You could do that, cancel the teleport, RC, and get a full combo, get a wall break, things like that. That felt very good. But a lot of this stuff is questionable. His going my way move, the move where he spins around, that got changed into this tornado move that was like really hard to make people block, really hard to combo into. I don't really get the point of it. He's another character that's kind of like Chip, where I don't understand what his game plan is. Like, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to control space with the normals? Sure, they're worse. Are you supposed to control with item throw? That's worse. Like, I don't really... He's one of the characters that's kind of hard to figure out, but all in all, he felt a lot better than the first beta, so I'm interested to see what happens to him, what kind of changes he gets before the game comes out. Let's move right along. Damn, we got a lot of characters to go. Let's talk about Giovanna. When Giovanna got announced, they're like, oh, cool, this is a sick character. And then they found out that the wolf doesn't fucking do anything. She's only got 2 special moves. Nobody's happy, right? Then you actually get to play Giovanna. And people are having a lot of fun. She's got a plus on block overhead that can cross up randomly. She has really, really good normals, super good dash. She gets passive buffs with meter. Like, by the end of the beta... Oh, let's just get this out of the way right away. She has a fucking infinite that I'm sure will get patched out. But she has it. It's a thing. Any combo, RC, flip kick, slash, flip kick, repeat until they die. That was pretty tight. But yeah, man. This character, sure, she's simple. Sure, she only has a couple moves, but they're pretty fucking good. Since I know none of you guys play fighting games, you probably didn't know that Season 1 Nash had this unreactable dash and you just scoop you up. Playing against Giovanna felt very similar. Her dash is so fast and she just grabs your stupid ass and you're just like, well, I guess that happened. I can't really react to this. Because if she just dashes up and presses close S, which is a very, very good button, it's plus on block, it leads to a very easy combo, and it's dash cancelable. If she dashes up and hits you with close S, like, you're in a lot of trouble. So that's a character that I was like really, really surprised by. I was even talking shit. I said, this character looks fucking boring. This is like, why would you ever play this character? And by the end of the beta, I wish that I had played her the whole time, because people were playing Giovanna, looked like they were having the fucking time of their lives. They had decent anti-airs, they had really good jumps, really interesting conversions. She has jump cancelable confirms that seemed like they were really good. Nice air-to-airs because you could jump cancel into her chain and push them to the corner. By the end of the bit, good RCs and just getting the passive damage buff. Oh, and by the way, when she has 50%, she gets a damage buff and she gets a defense boost. And at 100% meter, you get another bonus. So even if you're a fucking idiot and you don't know how to spend your meter, you can just say you're saving it for that and you're just, powering up. So all in all, like, that's a character that really surprised me. I thought she ended up being really, really cool, and I did not think that at first because, like I said, she doesn't use the dog in her moveset at all. So why is it even there? Looks boring, all that, but she ended up being a really cool character, and I wish that I had played her. And when the game comes out, I think I'm gonna, if she doesn't change that much, which I doubt she will, because she feels like a pretty complete character aside from like weird hitbox stuff. I want to try to play Giovanna again. You're the idiot that doesn't use meter? Yeah, well, you could just say you're a Giovanna player, and it's all part of the plan. Okay, let's get to the next character. Oh, I gotta move myself. Hold on. You probably know who that is if you're smart. Damn, I gotta move the camera too. Hold on. Next character, we're talking about our boy Kai Kisuke. In the first beta, this guy was terrorizing people. This is another character that I played in the first beta. What little opportunities I got, and he was a fucking beast, dude. Like, you get confirms off of everything. He was doing a shitload of damage. Shock State was just fucking people up. He seemed like really, really, really good. I messed around with him a bit in training mode this time, and he seemed a little bit worse. It's a lot of the same stuff didn't combo for some reason. I don't know why. It seems like some of his... he used to be able to get slash in the air to air slash, air dash, and he could convert. It seemed like I couldn't do it this time. Either that or I'm really bad. But a lot of his stuff just felt worse this time. Maybe it's just because all the other characters got more shit, but I don't know. I don't really get the point of Dragon Install. I couldn't like figure it out. When you use Dragon Install, you have less meter gain, which seems really bad. Because this game, like, it seems to revolve around RCs, using your meter, and all that stuff. So, kind of activating Dragon Install and getting powered up specials, it doesn't seem like it was worth the trade-off. What was cool about Dragon Install is you can DP somebody and then combo off of it. That was fucking tight. That was cool. Special moves getting buffed. I don't know how buffed they got besides getting the extra hits. I don't know if they changed the frame data. I'm sure it did. But the thing that I was most interested in was Dragon Install, and it seemed kind of, I don't know, kind of underwhelming. I didn't really explore it as much as I would have liked to, but Kai felt like noticeably worse this time than he did compared to the first one, which I get, because doing faultless defense in the air during an air dash and falling down immediately and doing lows and shit was pretty fucked up. But I mean, I guess that was universal, and now that doesn't exist anymore. So I don't know if they just took all that shit away and then forgot to give him buffs or something, but I don't know. But that's a character that I want to try again when we get to actually play it again, or if we magically get another beta. But he didn't feel very good when I played him again. But I think he looks fucking cool, and the green color Dragon Install is one of the most badass looking things like I've ever seen in a game. So visually he looks really cool, but gameplay wise, it was like, he's always supposed to be kind of like dry, but even in Exart I thought he was more interesting. So I don't know, that's a character that I want to know more about when the game comes out. Okay, let me get to the next character. Going along at a pretty decent pace right now. Let's see. Use the alphabet. Next character. Our boy. This is our boy Leo. If any of you are Leo players, you're bitches, first of all, and second of all, I hope you had a blast, because that character looked like he was a lot of fun. He seemed like one of the least changed characters from Exart to now. A lot of characters seemed like drastically different. They got whole new game plans, all that. It seemed like Leo was just running all the same shit that he did before. And if you're a Leo player, I bet you were pretty happy. Because you could just kind of mash on people and get free wins and do a bunch of damage.
Oh, that combo.
Thanks, Cody. I hope you enjoyed your time during the beta. Yeah, back turn stance seems very good. I mean, I know that you can't block string as long and do all that shit, but that command grab is fucking tight, dude. As much as I'm not a Leo player, my impressions, obviously besides that he seemed like a beast, was that it seemed more important to keep them mid-screen as opposed to in the corner with Leo this time. Because you could get any kind of, let's say your back turn, overhead hits, cool, slash, cool, overhead again, cool, and then you run through, and you put yourself back into back turn, and you knock him down right next to you. It seemed like that was the plan, because it seemed like he didn't get much out of wall breaks and corner. It seemed like he got more mid-screen. He could do everything he wants to do mid-screen without breaking the wall, keeping them right next to you. And if they're still alive somehow after all that, it's a very easy confirm into super. So it seemed like, for him, it seemed like keeping them mid-screen, he's like one of the few characters that seemed like keeping him mid-screen was better than putting him towards the wall. This is a good one, dude. You gotta thank JFlo for all these songs, by the way. He put me on this. But anybody that actually plays Leo when the game comes out, though, make fun of them, call them bitches, because they're fucking clowns. But Leo seemed like he was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the character, and I hope he doesn't get I don't really think he needs to get changed that much because that's a character that gets worse when your opponent knows more about it. So it's kind of dangerous to make them shitty because then they might become unplayable. So it's kind of one of those things where it's really difficult to balance. Yeah, J-Flow made this song. Thank him for that. He's going to make his own game soon. Hopefully he can make a game. I don't know if he has any gaming experience, but I'd buy a game that he made, probably. Nice posters. They're pretty nice, dude. There's you can't see it behind my head right now, but there's a K-Bear one that's very provocative. Maybe I'll show you later. All right, that's Leo. I don't really have much to say other than he looked pretty good, and that's pretty much it, man. Hopefully the Leo players are happy with that guy. Show you now. Can you see that, Joseph? That's a K-Bear, and then Mizzy-Me, and then K-Bear again. You got to zoom in, but there they are. Thanks for the sub, by the way. Alright, who's next? So let's use our brains and go in alphabetical order. Boom, we got Mei next. That's another character that that people thought was going to be horrible because she lost like so many moves. But she was fucking good, dude. Anybody that, if you had the misfortune to play a Mei player, I'm sorry, because that character is fucking insane. She's just running at you, just mashing on buttons. Dolphin's plus on block. It's like you just can't fuck with it, dude. Up Dolphin is like an excellent anti-air. Like that character was just running amok. She already had good normals in other games and a good jump, and now you can't anti-air her. If somehow you block all this bullshit, or if you let her in once, she also has a command grab that still does a shitload of damage when you combo off of it. I'm gonna get to that, Chili. I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. But Mei was a fucking menace, dude. There's a lot of strong characters in this game. They're like, man, like this character is really hard to fight, but this character was a fucking menace, like 100%. Mei was a monster. Hopefully you didn't have to play many of them, but they're for fucking me up real good. So closing thoughts. If you like to eat glue and rub honey on your chest and scream while you play, or if you're Joseph X, you should pick this character. You'll have a fucking great time playing Guilty Gear Strive for the personal computer system. So you might want to consider picking Mei up when the game drops. Next up, we're going in alphabetical order. We got Milia. This is let me take a drink first. Getting kind of parched, dude. Shoutouts to my sponsor. I knew that some of you would know what that was from, and I'm happy for that. I thought that one was kind of obscure, but you guys know your shit. So, anyways, we're talking about Milia. That's another character that seemed like she was going to be pretty bad. After the first exhibitions, people thought she was pretty bad. She needed pin. She needed all this stuff. After playing some sets with a few Milias, Gallon included, you should probably be worried about this character. Her mobility seems super, super, super good. It was always good, of course. That's why she has such low health, right? But excellent mobility, excellent air buttons, and she's one of the few characters that can get an air hit, an air dash, and get a full combo off of it. Air-to-airs in this game were much worse than other Guilty Gears, but to Milia, it didn't really matter. She could convert off of like anything, or really high hits, she could do command dash downwards and pick you back up and take you to the corner. She seemed very, 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 very good. Am I biased because I played Mike so much? I don't know, but to me, Milia seemed like one of the stronger characters in the beta. Like just the amount of combo routes that she had, it made her. People talk shit about this game because they say it's not Guilty Gear, but that Milia feels like very Guilty Gear-like. She has a ton of combo routes. She has conversions off of almost everything. She has really, really good use of RCs. If she knocks you down, sets disc, jumps up, and does RC drift, if she goes left, right, or down, like, it's basically impossible to block it. She's 4th best. I'm gonna take your word for it. Who do you think are the top 4, by the way? That's an interesting question. Because that, in my head, that sounds correct. It's a really good song. Thanks for the playlist, J-Flow. Thanks for making this, by the way. I hope you create a game someday. Shoutouts to the sponsor. You know, don't worry. We'll come back to your thoughts, Togi. I'm not in a rush. But yeah, that's a lot of nuts. But yeah, when I'm talking about this game, one thing that I'm looking for is which characters feel complete and which characters feel incomplete. There are a lot of characters that feel incomplete. Chip, Kai, Faust, but a character like Milia feels very complete. It feels like she's very polished. Like, all her shit works, she has a defined game plan, and she can really abuse a lot of the systems of the game. Milia felt like a very complete character. She felt very, very good. Not to play against, it was a fucking nightmare. Like, if anybody's seen Airplane, where, you know, he's sweating, and, like, all that shit's just dropping down, that's what it's like fighting Milia. It's like, dude, like, what the fuck's happening? Why is this so stressful? It felt awful to play against her, but I'm sure it felt very good to play her. You know, we're talking about how good this character is, dude. No, we're gonna get into it, dude. This fucking character, dude. If you don't know who this is, he got a redesign in Exard. This is Potemkin. Potemkin in Strive he's a fucking monster. He's probably the best character in that game, like, by far. He's got unpunishable, not unpunishable. That's not fair. It's minus, but very difficult to punish his Hammerfall. And it's very hard to punish Mega Fist. Potemkin we're talking about, like, menaces, just running around, just doing all kinds of crazy shit. Potemkin I don't think it's a crime for a grappler to be good. I think that's okay, but holy shit, dude, like, he was fucked up. Potemkin was very, very, very good. Super high damage, good reward off of everything, like everything a grappler could ever want. Like I said, people at this stage in the game were having trouble, myself included, instant blocking Hammerfall, instant blocking Mega Fist and punishing it. And even if you did, the reward you get for punishing those moves was very minimal compared to what he gets if it hits. Did we skip end? No, I'm saving that for the end. Because there's presumably more for me to talk about with that character than with everybody else. But yeah, Potemkin was super good. And I'm not even mad about it. Anybody that played Potemkin in Exard, you were playing like one of the shittiest versions of that character that has ever existed ever. And it's your time now. If you're a Potemkin player, all of the blood, sweat, and tears you put into that game, congratulations, dude. You guys finally made it, and you're very good again. Is that grappler syndrome? Is he going to drop off once the game comes out? I don't know, but he was very, very strong in the beta. He was, like, fucked up strong. But, I mean, how do you make him worse? You know, I guess he tweaked the frame advantage on some of the moves, make him more punishable on block, things like that, without really just gutting his identity. So, also, he had really cool combos. I'm not talking about, like, RC, you know, crouching H, fucking heat knuckle. Who gives a shit? He has this move where he punches you in the gut, and, like, this fire comes out and shit. If he hit you airborne with that, you would get wall bounced for some reason. It looked like a Hokuto no Ken combo, if you've ever seen that game before. And that shit was tight. I thought that was really cool. I didn't see that very often, but he had really, like, crazy combos like that. And he seemed cool. But I don't ever want to fight a Potemkin in this game unless he gets changed ever again. So, yeah. Potemkin was another one of the really, the real standouts of the beta. He was really, really good. Why the fuck does his command grab go even further than before it did? That shit is insane. Very good. Alright, we're going in alphabetical order. Who do we got next? We're talking about Ram. Yeah, I don't want to ever fight Hudson. Thank God that Hudson disconnected when we tried to play. Thank fucking God, dude. I don't know if I could have done it. But Ramlethal, it's another character. When they first showed her off, everybody was pissed off. They're like, dude, she can't set her swords. What the fuck is this character supposed to do? All of her moves are gone. Daro is garbage. Like, all of these moves suck. What are we supposed to do? How do you expect us to play this game? And let me tell you how you're supposed to play this game. You're just supposed to beat the fuck out of everybody by pressing all the buttons whenever you feel like. Her far slash was insane. A lot of characters couldn't get combos off of their far slashes. Ramlethal, no problem. We're going to hit you with this shit, we're going to take you to the corner, and as soon as I hit you next time, you're just going to die. Ram was very, 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 very strong. That's another character that was... It's like the bottom half of this list is fucking stacked. Like, all the characters are really good. Ramlethal was another one of the big standouts. She's super good. All her normals were still super good. I thought sword throw was going to be shitty because she throws this... If you do not know how that character works now, she throws the sword, and if it hits in the corner, it does an explosion, and you have to block the explosion. And if... let's say she gets a random hit off of that. If it hits you in the corner, you get stuck to the wall immediately once it blows up. She has enough time to see that, throw another one, get another explosion, walk up, get a hit, pick both of her swords back up, and break the wall. So pressing buttons versus that pressure is really scary. It's like terrifying. And even if you do block it, she could run up, press a button, and grab her swords anyways. Anytime you got hit mid-screen, you basically got put in the corner. You're knocked down in the corner, you get hit by a random sword, and then that's it. The round's over. Like, people were really worried about this character because her entire game plan changed, but Ramlethal was super, super good too. If they don't change her, which I hope they don't, it's not a crime to make the character strong. You're going to see a lot of Rams, I think. Ram was really good. Shoutouts to Ram's feet. Oh, and we didn't talk a lot about the visual redesigns of a lot of characters. Ramlethal's redesign with the bandages and all that shit looked really good. She looked great. The clear winners were her and I think Zato were for redesigns. The way Eddie looks, I think, is awesome. A lot of people didn't like the Goofy Eddie, but I think Goofy Eddie is really, really awesome. Joseph, you might want to stick to May, dude. I think that's more your level. You run forward, you throw dolphins at people, you'll have a great time, dude. Just press buttons, jump up, press heavy slash. You're gonna feel good. You should probably play May, but don't let me dissuade you. I'm saying that May was made for you. People that just eat paste and ride around on their bikes all day and yell at traffic and wonder why they can't shit in the toilet. That's your character. You should play May. Anyways, that's Ram. Very, very good. Ram's a great character. If she doesn't change, I encourage all of you to pick her up, except for Joseph. Going in alphabetical order, let's talk about another guy that felt very complete. We're nearing the end of our list, too. Just a couple more characters to go. So thanks for sticking around. Hope you're having a good time. Anyways, Soul. We're talking a lot about characters that feel very complete. Well, let's disregard the fact that he has an infinite. Pretend that Soul's infinite doesn't exist. Soul is a fucking great character, man. He has really, really good anti-airs. His 5k is as good as it's ever been, and you get a full combo no matter where it hits. That's fucking awesome. He's got huge damage off of whatever he wants. He's got great plus on block normals. He's got good pressure. Gunflame's still good. Soul was really good too. We're talking about complete characters. He probably felt the most complete out of everybody. He had everything you could ever want. Good DP, good damage, real fucked up weird combos, mid-screen conversions with dust in the air that wall bounces them, that gives you a free wall break. Like, just shit like that. Dude, Toki, how many Souls did you play? I'm assuming you played a lot of Souls. You played a lot of people when you got up to the esports VIP floor. You probably played a lot of Souls, right? Did you ever get put into close/jail like I did? That shit was fucking horrible. He just plus it's this move Soul has where he just punches like real close to him like that. And if he does that, like you just have to block like 8 more of them. It was super fucked up. It was like the most insane shit I've ever seen. I got put into close/jail like by every single Soul that I played. It was fucking wild. You basically had to instant block FD it to push him out so that he couldn't do it anymore. Soul was very, very good. The thing that I wanted to play him for was I wanted to play him for the Dragon Install Super, but I couldn't figure out how to combo into it, so it seemed kind of useless. That's what I liked the most about him, and I couldn't do it. But after watching Deb play a lot of matches, I was like, dude, why would you play anybody but Soul? This guy's a monster. Let me see what I have in my notes. It's just me jerking off the character in my notes. I don't even know why I'm reading it. The way he fits in the system so well. He's got good RCs. He's got excellent combo routes off of anything. Any air hit, he can get a full combo. Any ground hit, he can get a full combo. All that shit. Soul was super, super good. I think that if I would have played Soul, I would have had a little bit better of a time also. I had a great time playing, by the way. I'm not saying I had a bad time. But if I was playing a character like Soul, I think I would have just been laughing my ass off the whole time. Oh, his command grab still does like 30%, by the way. So, yeah. Soul. If Soul does not change at all, and I hope he doesn't, I hope more characters just get the tools that he has. When the game comes out, you should give Soul a try, because he was super good. Next up, we're gonna do a character that I don't know much about, but we're gonna try our best. It's our boy Zato. Let's pretend for a second, suspend your disbelief. Zato does not have an infinite in this game. It doesn't exist. So let's talk about the character without the infinite. Summoning Eddie in neutral without any like real safe way to do it. You have to make him do a move. Seems kind of weird. How fast Eddie meter regenerates seems pretty cool though. But he looks visually great. He's got the best looking super, I think, next to Soul. Amorphous in this game, the one where he makes the fucking shadow puppets and then claps his hands and a shark comes out and fucking bites you. That shit looks so sick. The way he looks is really good. The way Eddie's moves looked really good. He looks like visually very, very cool. It seemed like his sword throw super seemed much better. Before he used to turn to a sword and it sucked ass and it didn't do that much. It's like whatever. They changed that move to he throws the sword and right after the super's done, it summons Eddie right next to you. So if you're just tired of playing neutral, you're tired of anything, you can just throw that shit out whenever you feel like and put Eddie right next to him. That seemed really, really good. You like Axel and May? Those are two of my favorites too. I really like those. Chip was cool too. I wish I had more nice things to say. But Axel and May, I felt pretty good about those ones. I thought they were really funny. When I was doing it, I was laughing. I was like, you know what, this is gonna be funny. Oh man, the playlist is done. Anybody got anything they want to listen to? I could just run this shit back. It was tight, but we're almost done anyways. So yeah, I'm gonna run it back. Jed, what's up, man? You're at the tail end of the stream. Hope you find this last part informative. Anyways, I don't know, man. Zato players were bitching. I don't know if he's good or not. No idea. But he seemed really cool, and it's a character that I guess takes a lot of time to develop. So we'll see what happens once the game comes out. One thing I can say is that flight seemed really weird. Instead of jumping and then jumping again and starting to fly around, if you didn't know that's how he works, you do like an air dash. You double tap up and then you start flying. Or if you double tap right in the air, you'll air dash and then fly afterwards. It seemed kind of awkward. Whether or not that makes his mix up better or worse, I don't know. Like, that's a character I couldn't really figure out, and I only played a few of them. But they impressed me pretty good, but I think it's just because, you know, no double jump, no air dash, blah, 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 blah. You know the story, yada, yada, yada. But that's a character I don't really know about, but visually, he looks fantastic. He looks great. So that's the end of that story. Last character. Let me take another drink real quick. Last character, the character I spent the most time on. Is a new character, and my philosophy with these games when I play them now is pick one of the new characters. That's probably what they had in mind when they made the game. This is the embodiment of the game to them. If they're making a new character, this is probably how they want you to play. So when I started playing Tekken, I picked Claudio. When I sadly with Street Fighter V, I picked Rashid because I was like, this is how they want you to play. This is what I should do. I avoided the new characters in Street Fighter 4 because I was like, oh, they look stupid. But I wish I would have done that because they embodied the new system pretty well too. So the character I picked was I picked Nagoro Yuki because he looked tight as fuck, and I was like, you know what? This is a new character. Let's give him a shot. He looks great too. Let's put a picture of him up real quick. My boy Nagoro Yuki, I was like, this guy is sick, dude. I'm gonna play him. He looks awesome. The way they want you to play is probably how this character is gonna play. So I was like, all right, I'm picking him. I'm doing it. I'm gonna stick with it. The thing that I like about him is that let's start with that. I'll try to do positive, negative because there's a lot to say. The positive about this character is the damage you get off of real clean hits, not just like scramble, like clean hits. Like let's say we get a big punish, we get close slash, and where he slashes upwards, you get like enormous fucking damage off of it. It's very, very rewarding. When I talk about games, a lot of the things is like I like things that make me feel like I have a strong character. And when you're hitting people with this character, you feel very, very strong. Like let's run another hypothetical that happened more often than it should have in the beta. You bait the burst. They're in the corner. They have 70%. You get close slash. You get DP. You do the kick. You do the slash that hits the ground, and you do cancel to DP and repeat. That will kill somebody from about 60%. That shit felt great. It was fantastic. It was one of the best feelings ever. You're playing a grappler type character without a real damaging, threatening command grab, but the damage you get off of that, it felt great. It was the best part about the game. That's why I really wanted to play him. I was like, you know what, dude? You can just delete people in the corner. This is tight. Let's yeah, I killed you. He was playing Chip, but it happened to Mike too. So it's not an isolated incident. And random jerk-offs were just getting turned into space dust also. But let's talk about some of the let's compliment sandwich it. The only way you can get in with this character is by spending blood meter, and that shit felt proportionally fucking awful. If you do not know how this character works, I'll give you a very brief overview. When you use his special moves, it fills up a character-specific bar on the bottom called the blood meter, and using those special moves fills up the blood meter. And you can cancel most of his special moves into another special move, but it costs more blood meter. So some of the best ways for you to get in are by throwing the Shadow Clone Jutsu out and teleporting. It hits basically half screen, and it teleports you with plus frames, like big plus frames. But that builds you 1 bar of blood meter. And you only get 3 of those. And when you fill up the blood meter, you get put into this mode called Blood Rage. And it fucking sucks. Let me tell you right now, that shit feels also proportionally terrible to how good all the other shit feels. While you're in that mode, you lose all of your special moves. Every single one of them. And you lose about 50% of your health in damage over time. And it ticks pretty fucking fast. So let's run a situation that happened in the beta pretty frequently. Trying to get in, fill up the blood meter. Fuck, I popped Blood Rage. This guy ran up and did a combo on me, and it did probably 80% of my life. And this is a character that takes less damage than other characters. That shit felt bad. What are the upsides of this Blood Rage mode? All of your normals go really, really far. They basically go full screen. That's pretty tight. All of your normals do chip damage. That's pretty tight. You get access to a Blood Rage only super, and if that hits somebody, you pretty much do 70%. Raw, if that hits them, you're doing 70%. That's tight. Does any of that shit outweigh the downsides of it? Not by a long shot. That shit sucks. You need to avoid going to Blood Rage at any cost. It was so bad. It looks really cool though. You can kind of cheese people out with it if they don't know. Hold on, let me get some more drink. Getting kind of thirsty. But for the most part, Blood Rage was terrible. It was the reason why it felt so bad is because it fills up, I think, too fast. Burning 1 bar for your best approach option because he does not have a double jump. His super jump, most super jumps in this game take about 4 frames to leave the air. Potemkin's is 5, I think, because he's a grappler and it makes it easier for you to do command grabs and things like that. Nagoriyuki's, in comparison, takes 10 frames for you to jump out of the air, to leave the ground. Sorry, I stumbled over the words a little bit, but it takes you 10 frames to leave the ground. And why is that bad? If you see somebody jumping at you, let's do a common scenario. You would want to say, okay, they're far, super jump, air throw. But by the time you think that, and the time you leave the ground, they're already pressing a normal, and you're basically fucked. Because another one of the big weaknesses was you have to be really preemptive with your anti-airs with this character. Crouching head, 2-8, 2 heavy slash, the move where he just slices upwards and covers the whole screen. A great move, but it's almost 2 times as slow as every other character's 2 heavy slash. So it's kind of difficult to anti-air if you don't see the air dash flash. And sometimes you don't have time to think about it, you just have to press it. And that made it kind of difficult to anti-air people. His best anti-airs seem to be jumping jabs, which don't lead to anything, or standing jab, which sometimes you could, if they did a real low air dash, you know, like how you're supposed to, you could convert off of that. You could do jab, 5k, get a full combo. Sweet. But that was pretty bad. Let's talk about something good with this character. He has a command grab. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but the good part about it is, let's say you're running a typical pressure sequence. Let's say you do Shadow Clone Jutsu and teleport in. That costs you 1 bar basically, but it fills up slowly. But you'll get a bar, but it'll take a little bit. Let's say you command grab him instead. If you command grab, it stops your blood meter right where it is. It doesn't fill up, and then it starts draining downwards. So let's say you land the command grab. After that, what you can do is you can start using your special moves like over and over again. You can do Shadow Clone, Teleport, DP, Shadow Clone. You can do shit like that, and it will barely build you 1 bar. So we're talking about things that feel really good with characters. Landing a command grab with this character felt very, 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 very good. Because it meant that you could just do pressure sequences that were just insane. Like, you could just get plus frames, plus frames, plus frames, and if you grab them again, basically, you're going to stop the blood meter, and you're going to go down again, and you can just do it all over again. It felt really, really good. That's probably one of the most satisfying things, besides the damage with this character, is getting a command grab. Command grab felt very rewarding, and I think that was kind of the point. But if you ask me, there should be a different way to get into the state where your blood meter will drain. Like, a lot of characters have installs in this game. Like, can Nagoriyuki get an install super where he gets that state? I think that would be pretty cool. Because a lot of the stuff just doesn't feel good. Like, there are some things that I think are probably going to change by the time the game comes out, but there's times where you hit Far Slash, which is a really, really good poke from him, and they would just duck right under it, and like, it should have hit, but it doesn't. Like, one of the, I'm not talking about if Soul does 2k or 2 dust and it goes under it. I'm okay with that. I understand that's how that works, but there are times where there's neutral crouching and it would just go right over him. That shit, like, didn't feel good. Does the blood meter, as soon as you get the 3rd bar, you immediately go into blood rage. Barring bug situations, which I'll get into, but barring that, as soon as your 3rd meter fills up, you immediately go into blood rage. You cannot RC it, you cannot burst it, you cannot do anything. As soon as blood rage happens, GG. If you, like, let's say you're doing a pressure sequence and you get the 3rd bar and you're really close to them, like point blank, it does put them in block stun, but they can punish the block stun. So basically, if you're really close like that, you're going to get punished. You're going to take like 60-70%. You're going to feel bad. If you do a block string and push yourself out, they'll block just the very end of the blood rage pop, and you'll be safe. But you're still going to take 50% in damage over time, so it's not ideal. It's very bunk, and that means basically that managing your meter with this character is really, like, super, super important. And I think it's as it is now, disproportional to the reward you get off of a successful hit. Besides when you're in the corner. We were talking about S. He has a target combo which is slash slash slash. He slashes once, slashes twice, and then the third one he slashes downwards. That target combo was really, really good. It was a good whiff punisher. It was a good hit confirm. You can see slash slash and say perfect. It hit DP cancel. Another thing that was fucking hard about that character is you have to press a shitload of buttons because your combos all involve you canceling a special into a special into a special, converting off of the normal and canceling into a special. A very basic combo is 5k 2k, 214 heavy slash, immediately cancel that, 623 heavy slash, immediately cancel that, 236 kick, immediately press 5k, 5k, 6 heavy slash. You have to press all those super fast, and it's character specific also. So I'm not saying that's like a really bad thing about the character. I'm just giving you some insight as to how it works. You have to fucking mash the stick pretty fucking hard just to do anything, because there are so many cancels you have to do. But that's also what I thought was cool about the character. Let me see. Another thing that was good about the slash 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 chain is you could stop it in the middle, and you could, since it moves you forward, it puts you right next to them, and you could get a free command grab if they weren't paying attention, because it's really minus. But if they contest the slash slash nothing, and you do a special move, you get a free counter hit. So it's like, is it a mix-up? Sure. Is it a little gimmicky? A little bit. But your reward on hit is really good, because his counter hit combo is pretty much do 60% mid-screen. So, the big thing is he gets big damage, but how you get the hits, that's the hard part. So he's kind of like a grappler in that regard, but if you were going to play that style, why wouldn't you play Potemkin, is kind of the thoughts I had. Besides the fact that he's tight as fuck and he looks really cool. It sounds like I said a lot of negative things about him, but the main takeaway you should have is that he's super fun, and landing a hit with this character is very, very, very rewarding. You feel really good. One thing I wish I would have done more is I found out at the end of the beta that close slash, his best normal, was plus. If I would have known that more, I would have just been doing that shit over and over again. I think I would have had a little bit easier time opening people up. But, I found out about it now, so I guess that's kind of the end of that story. Yeah, Nagaruyuki was visually great, playstyle-wise great, a lot of fun. There's a couple things that I hope that they think about. Like another thing that happened kind of more frequently than I wanted it to was there would be characters that would run right past my 5 slash. When he stabs the middle of the screen, there was times where they would just run straight through it, and I wouldn't get close slash. I would just get far slash, and I would get hit. That seems like some kind of a janky interaction, but I mean, it's a beta. I get it. I'm sure that there was a lot more crazier shit than that, but that was kind of annoying. But all in all, though, impressions of the character, shitload of fun. Great fucking character. It's the most fun I've had with a fighting game in a long time. And I'm glad that I picked up a new character. Ino and Anji, I can tell you right now that here's my my hot take is that Anji's gonna have mad scrubby shit that people are gonna get pissed about, like they get pissed with Leo, and that Ino's gonna be very hard to anti-air. If the game stays the way it is now, Ino's gonna be very, very, very hard to deal with. But is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I think it's okay. But we're gonna find out when the game comes out. We talked about all the characters, talked about some of the other features, lobbies, UI, all that. Another thing is, if you're interested in any of those characters, if you're interested in high execution characters, Milia, Ino, all that, you should absolutely give them a shot, because the dash button is going to help you a lot. You're probably going to have a really good time. If you pick one of those characters, you're probably going to have a much easier time learning than you would before. It's still going to be hard, because your mistakes are going to be pretty evident, because you'll just explode. But you should absolutely try a character out of your comfort zone for this game. You're probably going to have a lot of fun. And if you're not playing this game to have fun, what are you doing? So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. And as of now, there's a few things that are frustrating with the game, but as a whole, this game is very fun. You know, we're at that point where if you have any questions, let me know. I'm about to wrap up kind of the beta impressions right now. So if you have any questions, now's the time. No, it does not. If you want to dash, if you're on the ground, yes. If you're in the air or something like that, you have to press the direction you want to go. From what I tested, like I said, my character does not have an air dash or a regular dash, but when I was trying to do RC combos, I had to press the direction before I did it. And at that point, it was easier for me to just input the dash and press the buttons, so I just did it that way. How tight were the lobby teleports? One of the worst things about the game is the lobby. I can't stress that enough. It's awful. It's been awful. I hope it changes. It's almost workable, and I'm not a bitch, so I'll deal with it. But it's pretty bad. It's easily not easily. It's one of the worst things about the game. Did you have fun fighting Sugar Gay? I had a blast fighting every single person I fought. Even in the matches where I felt like I couldn't do anything, I still had a lot of fun. I still wanted to press rematch. I still wanted to play. At no point in this game did I say, fuck this, I don't want to play anymore. Even fighting those fucking souls that put me into close jail, even despite all that shit, I still had a good time. I still wanted to play. GG's. Chili, I can't wait for our next matchups. It was great. Even fighting an ape, absolutely. You know, one of the things that I wish I would have done more is play Cody and Exard more, so I was more familiar with the character, but that was that weird period of time when I was playing fighting games where I was just unenthusiastic about everything. And, like, I couldn't bring myself to play long sets in any games, basically. So, it was that weird time period. If you know, you know. But, yes, I did have a good time fighting your Leo, even though I found it very hard to stop what you were doing. There are things that I learned afterwards that I wish I would have done while we were playing. Good question, by the way. Free Vince, you know, you freed me, but at what cost, dude? You lost all your locals, all your majors, man. Was it worth it? You decide. Yeah, never forgot, dude. Never free was a thing, dude. But, you know, we're free now, so thanks. It's not really a question, but thanks anyways. You know, hope to see everybody play the game. If you didn't get a chance to play the beta, you know, the game is going to be pretty highly recommended by me at this point, just based on the netcode alone. So, if you're interested, I think you should. If you're interested even a little bit, or if you like playing fighting games even a little bit, I think you should give this game a shot when it comes out. See you in Stripe. I'm sad, and I'm not sad that we got to play during the beta, Toki. I think I would have really had a rough time playing against Axel, but I would have liked to have played you anyways, because I would have learned a lot. But yeah, I'll see you in Strive. I hope everybody picks it up. I think it's... If you asked me 9 months ago if I would be endorsing this game, I probably would have punched you in the face. I probably would have said, you're a fucking idiot. I would never endorse a shitty game like this. Fast forward 9 months to now, I think everybody should play it when it comes out. Very positive experience with the beta. Besides the lobbies. How long will it take you to not go O2? If you pick Mei, if you pick Sol, if you pick Leo, you will not go O2. I can guarantee you. If you pick one of those characters, you are not going O2. You will fuck up at least one person. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, dude. Go back and pick up and play Grand Blue and play that netcode. It's not playable. It's not okay. I couldn't punch Rainhead in the face. He left too fast, man. What am I supposed to do? If anybody had a good time during the beta, make sure to thank Zynak for making the netcode playable. That's all I can really say. looks like we're slowing down on the questions front, so let me just give my closing statements, and then I can set you guys free to do whatever it is that you want to do. Closing statement: the game is fucking crazy, dude. There's infinites all over the place. There's crazy dash cancel shit that shouldn't be in the game. There's bugs all over the place. There's inverted health bars. There's shit that is fucking crazy, but I expect a lot of that shit to go away. I expect the infinites to be removed. I expect no more bugs like that. The things that I hope get changed is I hope the lobbies get changed. I doubt it will, but I hope to God that the lobbies are either changed or the private lobbies are drastically different than what we get. There will be a rematch button. The reason why the rematch wasn't in is because they want everybody to play everybody and to test the netcode, but there will be a rematch button. Whether or not that is in the private lobbies or not, it's a different story. But there will be a rematch. Anyways, yeah. Oh man, dude, I forgot about that. If there is no spectating in this game, I don't know what I'm gonna fucking do. Because that's one of the things that I really don't know about, and I'm hoping that, like, you can't not have spectating, right? Like, the only game I've ever seen that has done that is Marvel 3. Like, that shit did not have a spectator forever. That shit was fucking horrible. Like, this game can't launch with that, right? It's gotta have spectating. Yeah, I think even now, I think that basically, I think that online tournaments right now are almost impossible, just based on what we have. The amount of downtime between matches is like astronomical. It's like, I don't think it's viable to run a big tournament online for this game unless the private lobbies are, like I said, are drastically different. I think it's impossible. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what they are, and there has to be spectating. Like, I haven't heard much about it, but I don't actually know. Yeah, if you're doing all this, if you're pushing this game for new players, if you're pushing tournaments, you have to have a mode like that, right? You'd like to think that they wouldn't overlook it, but that's one of the big questions I have right now. I hope that we get more info about that soon. Anyways, what was I talking shit about? I was pretty doom and gloom about this beta, the first beta, and after now, I'm pretty hopeful. It seems like they're listening, sort of. There are things that they've gone back on that I think are really good for the game. There's things I hope that they still change, but if this is the game I got to play when it comes out in April, I wouldn't be too upset. I would like some quality of life things, but if the game came out like this right now, I'd be like, okay, alright, I'm down. Like, I'd play it, I'd fuck with it. Yeah, did you put the pick in there, dude? Unfortunately, there's no attachments, but I guess you could do like a Hydra dick of it, of the Kenny pick. That would be kind of cool. They would probably like that. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of all I wanted to say about it. You guys have any other questions before I send you off wherever it is you're gonna go? I'm leaving these pictures up. These character pics are pretty funny. I thought they were pretty funny. I had a good time finding them. How do I feel about Sarah Lace? Am I gonna get bodied looking this up right now? What would I want for Nagoriyuki? Very good question. I would, in Magical Christmas Land, the blood meter would fill up a little slower from specials. In Magical Christmas Land, my anti-airs would not be 1.5 times as slow as the rest of the cast. In Magical Christmas Land, my super jump does not take 10 frames to start up. I think if those things happened, especially the one thing I really have a problem with is the anti-airs being so bad. In Magical Christmas Land, those things happen. Better anti-airs, no matter how you have to do it. Blood meter filling up a bit slower. And fix the jumps, or give me a double jump. There is no reason why Potemkin should have a double jump, and this character does not. I don't understand that. not to be too down on the character. I think the character is very fun, but those are the things that immediately stand out to me. Granted, I'm a big scrub, so take my opinion with a lot of salt. But those are the things that are the most confusing about the character to me. Yeah, the 10 frames is double the speed of the grappler in the game, and I do not understand why. Maybe it's a bug. There's a lot of things that are strange. Like, oh, I forgot to talk about his bugs. If you break the wall with his super, you go into a mode where you don't pop blood rage, and I don't know why. I get that the super is supposed to halt the blood gauge when you use it, but if you break the wall with it, you can just do 214 heavy slash into DP over and over again and ship them until they die. I forgot to talk about that. It's tight. Yeah, I found out about that too late, unfortunately, but if I would have gotten to do it, I would have had a lot of fun. But yeah, those are the things that seem strange to me. There's weird bugs like that with him, and I wonder if that's one of them. But I don't know. Like fighting characters that can really keep you out and stuff is it's really difficult because, like I said, your best ways to get in cost at least 1 bar of blood, and that seems like a really high price to pay when Potemkin is hammer falling you with armor, full screen, and you can't punish it. Like, those are the things that I think are a little questionable. Excellent question. Let me ask you that too. If you have time, what would you want for Axel? I'm sure you played a lot of Axel. That's a tough question, I know, but it's probably a tougher question when your character doesn't seem to have the flaws that other ones do. But I'm sure he does, That would be great, right? Like, that's the thing. Is, like I said, I was having a hard time until I found out that close slash was plus. If I would have found that out earlier, I think I would have had a much easier time opening people up. That's the thing, right? And why would he have that when you have the Rensen follow-up that brings them closer to you? Why would you want to do that if you don't have good close-up normals, right? Like, doesn't that seem kind of counterintuitive? Seems kind of strange. I don't understand the point of that move either. That Rensen follow-up seems really odd. It seemed weird before, but hearing that his normals are even worse up close, it really doesn't make sense now. Command grab was tight though. That was cool. You find any Axels? He's cool, man. That's all I can say. In some situations you can combo. Maybe that's why then. I guess you can't use it like how you did before to call jumps out, but I don't know. It seemed kind of awkward to me. But maybe it's just because it's different. Yeah, right? So then what's the point of the move? That was the confusing part to me. That's not the character that, I wonder how much time was put into him compared to, a character like Soul. We're talking about how characters feel complete. Soul feels like they could ship the game right now and he's done. He's perfect. Minus the infinite. But, I want other characters to get that same kind of polish that Soul has. We talked about in the beginning, One Vision is a pretty strong candidate for one of the coolest moves in this game. And maybe in Guilty Gear period. One Vision, excellent. Just saw Axl Rose. Did he hit her with a Rensen, dude? Is that what happened? Did she get hit with the counter? I guess no DP kind of hurts Axel too, right? I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe it'd be too good? I don't know. I don't think he would. I've heard that story about Axl Rose a lot also, so I 100% believe you. Yeah, right? It would have to change drastically if they wanted to put it in, so maybe that's why they didn't do it. They're like, you know what, fuck it, dude. He's too good. He's too sick. Who knows? I'm interested to see how this game develops once it's out. And if you know anything about betas and builds of betas that you get, you got to assume that the beta build that we got is at least a few months old, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't ship it at all. So I'm wondering how different the current version was even when we played the beta. I can't imagine that we got a version that was current. These are just Vince thoughts, but in my head, like, there's no fucking way. There's no way the build they're playing at Arxis HQ with all the VIPs and shit is the same version that we got. I would be very surprised. Even Loke test to Loke test, when people were getting the Loke test for other games, they were getting shit that was really old too. So that kind of makes me wonder too, how different is the game even while we were playing it? That's what I'm wondering, and I'm wondering what kind of state they're going to be in once we get it. I hope that, like I said, that characters get risen up to the level that other characters have. I want them to have good conversions. I want them to feel like they can play Guilty Gear. But whether or not they just shit on all of that is a different story. Arxis has a pretty long history of making characters really bad that were good, and characters that were really shitty being like completely over the top. Is this the game that's going to change it? It's like, that's the kind of the question I have. For anybody that played any version of BlazBlue, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Except for Arakune, who somehow escaped nerfs in every fucking version of that game that ever came out ever. No, a lot of characters did not have themes. Dude, I feel your pain, Toki. Imagine the character you play being shitty for every version of the game that has ever existed. Imagine a world where that happens. Would you keep playing? You know, I wish I had the mindset now that I have now back then, because I would have just stopped playing Tager and I would have played somebody that was decent and I would have kept playing the game. But I was very like set in characters at that point, and I think that was not good. It wasn't good when I played that game. It wasn't good when I played Street Fighter. It wasn't good in anything I played. I guess that's not really really to describe, but I think it's relevant. It did. It had pro strats from people that was on the game, which I think was really cool, but the game was so new at that point that none of those things really mattered. Yeah, top 3 in that game was some of like the best top 3 that I've played in any game I've ever played. But that's also due to the fact that all the other characters were so bad, you know? It was the first version of the game that had ever come out. And it was, as expected, it was a fucking mess, right? There's no way. You can't have the first version of your game be balanced at all. It's very difficult. I'm not going to say it's impossible, it's very difficult. That's also the game that I played where I actually really tried that probably had the most lopsided matchups in any game I've ever played. That's why when people say, oh, this matchup is so hard, this matchup is this matchup is that, it's like, is it? You know, I hate to play the compare and contrast game, but there are some matchups that seriously feel like they're unwinnable. And like that doesn't really exist in this day and age anymore. Who were the tops? Top 3 in Calamity Trigger was any combination of Arakune, New, and Rachel. They were very, very strong. Very, very strong. Like, they could basically shut you out of playing the game completely off of, like, very few situations. Like, they could just by playing the game, like, they could make you just lose instantly. Yeah, like, as somebody, like, I'm kind of in a unique position because I try to IB a lot of things in every game because I'm used to playing BlazBlue where IB was very good. That's one of the things that made me want to IB everything, and I found it really hard to IB things even that I knew were coming. Like stun edges were very hard to IB. Charge stun edge was very hard to IB, and I've done that before in other games. IBing stun dipper was very hard. I mean, I get it, new game, new engine, all that, but it felt like I was barely getting it at all. And I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of how to IB. Yeah, good fucking luck IBing Hammerfall, Hammerfist, Mega Fist. No way, dude. I was barely IBing Leo's run through when I knew it was coming and throwing. I got it maybe 1/3 of the time when I was trying it. Obviously, you want to just throw anyways, but I wanted to see if I could do it. Because that's guaranteed if you block it. It was very hard. I think making it the same as it was in Exart, at least, I think it's a good middle ground. Especially if it's not going to change the frame data. If it's only doing what it's doing, I think it should be a little easier. I totally forgot about IB and faultless defense shit. That's a pretty important part of the game. I think it's going to be important later. It's not so important now because nobody knows anything, but it's probably going to become important. Yeah, doesn't that seem weird that the defensive mechanic gets so hard, especially because it doesn't change frame data. Another thing is if you want to keep it difficult like that, make it change the frame data again. I think that's okay. Man, this is a really good playlist, JFlow. Thanks for making this game. I gotta listen to this shit for another like 2 hours, I think. Hopefully I don't talk for another 2 hours, but if I do, that's fine. All these pretzels are making me thirsty, though. Shoutouts to water. I ran out of my sponsored drink, but you know, we got the water, got the agua. What's up, Luke? Hope you are enjoying all this fighting game talk. You know, I don't really have much more to talk about on this topic, though. So I think if everybody's cool, I think we're gonna send you off. What, fighting game talk? You're right. We're just talking shit. Let's see who's streaming. Why, when I type in Twitch, does it immediately want to send me to Joseph, dude? That is very upsetting. Why would I ever want to go to that channel? You know, unfortunately, nobody's streaming, so I'm going to set you guys free, I think. You know, if you like the podcast, if you like talks like this, you might want to go back and watch the archive. I think it was decent. It's I haven't done this in a while. Let me see if you can see it. I swear I'm not gonna show you my dick. I promise. I wrote like a full page of notes. This is just the characters. So I tried pretty hard to articulate my thoughts in a way that you might like. So I tried at least. So hopefully it was enjoyable to watch. Because I didn't want to just go in here raw dog, so I wrote down a few character impressions, a few system things, tried to make it somewhat streamlined. Anyways, yeah, farticulate, my bad, I'm pronouncing it weird. Anyways, GG's, hope you enjoyed it. Sorry nobody's streaming, but I can close you guys out, so give me a second. Oh yeah, and see you in April, man. I hope you guys have as much fun as I did with the beta when the game comes out. I'm really looking forward to tournaments, just playing the game, and having a gay old time with the boys. So yeah, see you guys soon. Let me get you guys set up here. You know, the last time I tried the Tom Brady soundboard, it didn't work. So I'm gonna do a test real quick. If it's really loud, I'm sorry.
Man.
Okay, it works. All right, everybody be cool. I'm gonna set you guys free.
You know, I'm in the lab. I'm in the lab here. The bottom line is this. See you at the next tournament.
In every step